I think I'm live. Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Chilling like a proverbial villain. What's going on? Ese, ¿qué estás? Like I'm just messing up languages and accents everywhere. You'll forgive me. I just got finished watching Zorro, so every so often I may break into a really crappy freaking Spanish accent. It happens. It happens. Anyway, what's going on, y'all? Oh, blah, 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 blah. Why don't I see anybody in the chat? What's your problems? Oh, there's Victor. What's going on, dude? What's up, Kimosabi? David Presley. Hey, what's happening? Oh, excuse me, Victor. Yeah, you and me got to talk one of these days. I got a game on Monday night, and then a game, not the next Monday night, but the game after the Monday night after that, and then we done. And then we're going to start talking about, well, first off, me editing all that other stuff, which is going to take forever, but, we'll do it. And then we'll start talking about getting a new group together for a game, because, well, that could be pretty freaking awesome. Anyway, Marvel Superheroes Advanced Role-Playing Game System. Very fun, very easy, totally freaking awesome. And we're going to need a bunch of new players to jump on that, because hell's to the yes. Anyway, Javid, what's going on? Javid Malik. What's up, dude? Ibn Malik. Nice. Well, yeah, I guess you're all Ibn Malik. I don't know if you actually speak Arabic, but Malik is definitely an Arabic name. One of the four Imams. The first of the four Imams, in fact. Manuz. What's going on, dude? How you doing? Welcome to the channel. Raven. What's up? Okay, right now we've got our fact checker is here. Raven will fact check everything that we say. And there's about 103% chance that he's going to be right. Y'all laughing, but it's true. Paula, what's going on, Paula? Al caramba, jefe. Nice, very good, very good. Nice. She got the Zorro reference. Sabah, what's up? How's everybody doing? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Qué manachun? Oh, what else do I know? S.h.i.e.l.D. Oh, Sabah Anor. It's kind of late for that. Anyway, y'all get it. What's going on, Victor? Awesome. I'm glad you're down for the game. Corey, what's going on? One God Tank. That's freaking awesome, dude. Hot ass Texas. Wow. Yeah, I thought today was bad at 24 degrees. Granted, 24 degrees Celsius. That's about 73 or 74 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's like, what do you call it? Room temperature, The sun was down. The sun was out today, man. I got me a farmer's tan. Started to get a little bit of burn. Can you see that difference? Can you see that difference? Like I look like a barber's pole. Oh, man. Javid, you're in the UK. Okay, so you're about 5 hours in the future. You can read Arabic but can't speak it. Mafi mushkila ya akhi. I got you. Here's the question. You can read Arabic, which means that you can read Fusaha, because pretty much all Arabic is written in Fusaha. Is it only Quran, or can you actually read regular old standard Arabic also and get it? Corey Irwin, I'm so touched people talked to me about my posts in the community wall yesterday. Oh yeah, dude. I wound up seeing all those late because I was out, but I did wind up eventually seeing them. And yeah, I love that you're getting a conversation going. That's freaking awesome. Try doing it in the same thread if possible, or at least link back to the other thread, because I was seeing your stuff all over the place. I have no idea what this guy's talking about. And then I saw all of them together finally. I'm like, I get it. Tim Board, what's going on? Ohio, how are you today, Tim Board, over in Japan? Nippon! Michael Bandionis. Yeah, see, that's the kind of name I need after watching Zorro. Legend of Zorro. 2 days ago, we watched, I showed my family for the first time The Mask of Zorro, or was it The Mark of Zorro, whatever. The first one with Antonio Banderas, and this was the second one they just saw. And I'm insulted. What? Oh, anyway. So I know that, what do you call it? It's awesome. They should have had a third and fourth and a 40th. Hamburg, Pennsylvania. What's going on? David Presley. Nice. Yeah, I got a grandmother from Altoona. well, actually, she died a year and a half ago, but everybody knows dying. It's messed up. It's like that time where I'm starting to feel really old because like people are dying in my family. You can only read. Okay, no problem. Uh, you'll get it. Sorry guys, I'm not doing healthy today. It's A&W. Root beer. Iowa. Ana Kalam Arabi. But it's like conversational, barely. I haven't really had an opportunity to do it in a while. My wife actually works with with foreigners, and she's Somali, so she speaks Somali fluently, and she grew up in Saudi Arabia, so she speaks Jadawi. Actually, is it Jadawi in where did she grow up? Where the heck did she grow up? I know the name of it. Hey, babe. I forget. What's the town you grew up in? I forget. What's the town you grew up in Saudi? Thank you. Duh. Taif. She grew up in Taif. So yeah, she grew up with the Bedouis. The Bedouis on top of a mountain. I think that's it's the Hijaz. I don't know if it's anyway. Yeah, so yeah, there you go. She's fluent though. She'll say she isn't, but yeah, she is. She corrects me all the time in my Arabic. I suck. I just started getting into single issues again after being inspired by your channel. I have that effect on people. Old Zorro movies are the best. Raven, I actually just got finished watching the day before yesterday. After we watched the regular one, sent the kids to bed, we watched the 1920 Zorro, the silent movie one, and my wife loved it. She loved it. So like the original Zorro movie, 1 year after he was created. Oh, she flipped out over that. She absolutely flipped out. It was awesome. Oh, Sebastian is here. Oh, Lucas, what's going on? Lupus Felipe, welcome to the channel. Also from Brazil. Actually, and Sebastian, you're in Venezuela, right? But Sebastian is a huge Transformers fan. And might have gotten a few things that you might want to see. Got them today. I got Cog, for one. Cog is chilling like a villain. And I got something very rare that most people don't get anymore because they're all sold out all the time. Ravage and Laserbeak. That's right. I got Ravage and Laserbeak. Got my Soundwave, Laserbeak, Ravage, Transform, Operation, Infiltrate. Like, dude, I'm so happy I got those freaking tapes right now. Yes, Zorro with Douglas Fairbanks. That's the guy with the big thing on his chin. One day to do Hajj. Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry about waiting a little while to do it because, yeah, it's what do you call it? It's what do you call it? It's just hot there right now. Zorro sword fights are like good glass of lemonade. 12 miles away from you. Damn, I could walk to you. Oh, you guys are, Cody and somebody else are right next to each other? Awesome. Oh, it's not even just black and white, Javid. It's silent. It's the silent film. So it's got the music playing in the background, and yeah, every so often, like it's like a comic book. I'm showing it to my wife, and she's like, "It's like a comic book." I was like, "Yes, yes, it is." His name was Legos. Legos. Is that from Lord of the Rings? Anyway, read the first 2 issues. New Transformers, but wasn't feeling it. Oh yeah, the new Transformers movie. Excuse me, comic book. Trying. Oh, but I'm like seriously into the. I've only played one game, but I'm really into the Transformers card game right now. Dude, I have a Seeker deck. I have a Seeker deck. I got the Thundercracker that it came with. This is an 8-star. That's pretty good. I got a 10. I had to buy it. A 10-star Starscream. I got a 6-star Skywarp. Once I got that, I'm like, yeah, dude, that's it. I'm just going to keep doing these. And then I bought another a Ramjet, a 10-star. So we try and get a whole bunch of different stars and be all sorts of golden and on my way and kick some butt and take some names and excuse me, play some Transformers, baby. Like maybe I can actually get a couple tournaments going and I can get some recordings on the channel and, you know, y'all can watch me kick some butt or get my butt kicked in the game. Probably get my butt kicked in the game. Let's see. Love reading the old UK Transformers. Those were nice. Guy Williams was your favorite Zorro. Dude, I'm so glad there's so many people into Zorro here. And yet, where the heck is Silver Surfer? Because this dude, like, he is the Zorro buff. And he's not here. Psh, screwed up, bruh. Hey, what's going on, Sue-Ann? How you doing? One God Tank just started reading comic books again after, let's say, a 35-year break. Yes, my channel is mainly the cause. That's awesome. Knows vampires are everywhere in Marvel right now. Yes, aggressively relaxing. They are. Let's see. Dark Knight Detective. Wow. What do you think of Detective Comics? I love them. They've got a problem with their editors right now because apparently they have no control over Brian Michael Bendis, but hey, they apparently don't have a lot of control over what's his face, Frank Miller either. They're like, Frank Miller's going to write a story and John Romita Jr. is going to do it also. And this is the old guard talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like current politicians. I know some people are going to be upset by this, but it's not meant to be critical against anybody except these particular politicians. Most of them are old white men. Do they represent the entire country? Technically, but they're taking big money from donors, and they have absolutely no understanding. Like, there are actually people arguing over reparations right now. Really? Really? We're arguing over reparations? Unbelievable. So, Mitch McConnell, we had a black president. So, like, isn't that good? Okay, that's a really ancient argument. Anyway, what do you call it? It is what it is. Oh, look, I lost 2 people because I started talking politics. Oh, well. Anyway. Oh, Sabah woke up with a sore throat. I'm sorry. Oh, speaking of sore throat, because I'm coughing a lot. Yeah, I read Star Trek Transformers. You can go check out those reviews. Hey, John Wright is here. What's going on, dude? I'm liking the direction Doctor Strange is going. Like seeing Galactus out of his comfort zone, taking on characters like Dormammu, Nightmare, Shuma Gorath, and Mordo and Wong. You know what's messed up? They just announced last night, that issue number 20 is going to be the final issue. So issue 14 is coming out this Saturday or this Wednesday, and it's going to be the final arc. So we're going to have a final 6-issue arc, and then that's it. I'm drinking root beer. Yeah, the root beer. It's from A&W. They use, I don't know if this is more healthy, but it's caffeine free. I like that. And then it's, they say they use pure sugar cane. I don't know if that's better or not. It means there's still sugar in it, and sugar is my nemesis. But we'll see what happens. One character named Bobby that isn't Mockingbird, Iceman. Oh, and Raven's right there. Of course, Raven's right there. Dude, you can't get one by on Raven, man. How many comics do you read? Don't you get burned out? I do sometimes get burned out. If it takes a long time to get to my comic books, I do actually get burned out. But whatever. I just reprocess and then I'm good. I don't know why they canceled Doctor Strange. They haven't let on yet. And Mark Waid and I aren't elbow buddies, so we can't, we don't talk to each other. But maybe one day he'll come over and have a root beer with me. Another post I put on the Facebook community wall yesterday is that Jason Momoa has gone on the record saying he wants to be in the running to be the MCU Wolverine. It depends on how tall he is, and I know somebody else said that too. Wolverine is 5'3" in the comic books, and Marvel is usually really good at making sure that the MCU stays believable. And one of the things about Wolverine is that he is not a very personable person. He's not a very nice person. And he's definitely not going to be like, yeah, dude. Like Jason Momoa, I don't know what he's drinking, but apparently he thinks that the fact that he can have a drink with people means that he can play Wolverine. No. Wolverine is supposed to be a mean son of a gun. You're supposed to love Wolverine despite how ridiculous he is. Last time I checked, Corey Irwin says that he's 6'4". Dude, he's an inch shorter than I am. He's an inch shorter than I am, and he's supposed to play Wolverine? Like, come on, man. I think that's taller than Hugh Jackman was. Like, that's just, no. He can't play Wolverine. But, like everybody else been saying, and I didn't realize, like, once I saw that picture that you put on the Facebook page, that's Comic Book University on Facebook. Not the one with me holding a shield, but the one with me with my bandana. Excuse me. This one. This one. You know, I got something for Silver Surfer if he ever shows up, the punk. Anyway, oh, check it out. I also got this. It's a cheapy little, it's a $12 Superior Spider-Man. You push the little button on the back and the top two arms go like that. I'm going to try and remove all of this and put it on my Superior Spider-Man that's oh, actually it's up there swinging. I'm going to try and put it on there because I think that would actually be really cool. Anyway, you know what? Silver Surfer might not show up. So, first off, I got a couple of the little guys. Check this out. I got Duke. You know the little Imagine X guys? Yeah, I collect stuff. I got Jan. Oh, man, my neck. My throat's killing me. Oof. She could turn into a bird and kind of airborne creatures. I got the brother, and he's got the bucket of water. And if you look inside closely, the bucket of water is in the shape of his face because that's what happens. It's actually that you can actually see his face in the bucket of water. So that's just awesome. And she can actually carry it. Ah, Dr. Fate. Oh, hey, Cliff Allure. What do you prefer? Fantasy, sci-fi, or a hybrid of both? And what do you think is more popular with the fans? Keep up the beautiful grind. Well, thank you, and I will try. Do I prefer fantasy or sci-fi, or a hybrid of both in a story? Honestly, I prefer more fantasy, but that's only because I don't see a whole lot of really good sci-fi out there, you know? Every so often I will see it, and if I do see what looks like it'll be a good one, then, you know, I'll get it. I forget what the most recent one is that I read. What the heck is the name of the guy who did it even? Crap. I did one. It was like an 8-issue limited series from Aftershock. They were in space and there was a murder mystery. And it was actually pretty good. It got a little annoying at some parts and they could have made it more action-packed, but it was still pretty good. Anyway, yeah. So, unfortunately, I usually prefer fantasy because most people get it right. But it is what it is. Anyone interested in indie comics lately? Yeah, you kind of have to be interested in indie comics because what do you call it? The other ones get kind of tedious after a while. Anyway, so I got before I got interrupted by money, and thank you for the $9.99, Cliff. Right? Sorry. Yes, Cliff. Thank you. What do you call it? Oh, shoot! And I have to do it the right way. Somebody sends a super chat. You get a little dance. Literally, a little dance. This guy's like 5 inches. Boom, chaka, chaka, boom, chaka, 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 boom, chaka, 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 boom, chaka, chaka, chaka. Okay, you got your dance. You got your little dance. So, Dr. Fate, and there's one more that was in the... Oh, no, there's actually two more that was in that list. There was Catman, which is stupid, and Lex Luthor in his Superman armor, which is from the early Rebirth stuff. I got a new Black Panther figure, the final piece that has the last piece that I need for M'Baku, which is awesome. So awesome, so I can build my M'Baku now. And if Silver Surfer ain't showing up, screw him. He'll see this stuff later. Bam! Look at that. I got my General Grievous. This guy is $70. Can you believe it? $70 for this dude. Oh, hey. Sorry, the cloak flew away. And this is awesome because like all the arms move, he's very poseable, and the lightsabers, the glowy part will actually come out, so you'll just have the handles. And look in here. Can you guys see the pockets in there? Let me just take this off so you can see it a little bit better. There's actually 4 little pockets in here, so that he can hold his lightsabers. You see them? Look at that. So he can hold the lightsabers in there. Excuse me. Of the slain Jedis, the fallen Jedis that he has slain under his blades. And it comes with that little blaster pistol also. So that is awesome. That is awesome. Professor, do you think Henry Cavill is cut out of Superman? I think that he is an amazing Superman, Jeffrey Lane. I think that he's an amazing Superman. I just believe that what do you call it? DC didn't know what to do the proper way. They kept on, and they still apparently are falling in love with uh, Zack Snyder. Just, yeah, I just don't get that guy. I really don't. Hey Bill, which Marvel Legends figures are you looking forward to? Beta Ray Bill more than anything else. Need to get me some Beta Ray Bill. But also the new Loki that's coming out, the comic book version with the helmet horns. Got to get my hands on that. The Union Jack is looking pretty good. And I also wouldn't mind, like, the Shuri looks pretty good, but I already got a cheaper version, and I'm not really interested in building Professor Hulk. That's the bill of fare that comes with there. And then, what do you call it? Not Cottonmouth, Rock Python. He's one of the Serpent Society. I have to get all the Serpent Society guys. Like, I gotta. I mean, that was supposed to be the movie they were going to do for Captain America. Not really. And then for the other wave, I don't care about building Molten Man. I wanted Hydra Man, but Hydro Man looks silly. So the only character I want there, I've already got a Mysterio, the comic book version, so I don't need the movie version. But I really, really want, what's his name, Scorpion. Like, got to get my hands on that. So, yeah. Yeah, the Grievous just came out yesterday, so I am super hyped that I was able to get my hands on that. That was awesome. Let's see. Mark Waid's going to make an indie comic. Anybody know about that? I did hear about that, and I can't remember what it was now. It wasn't the biggest news for me. His Doctor Strange canceling was, or ending, was the thing for me. Lucas Felipe, yes, Savage Sword of Conan issue number 6 was awesome. I had to do that thing where I joked about a chick writing it. I was like, a chick wrote it? Come on, man. This ain't gonna be good. Meanwhile, it was awesome. When do we get MCU Doctor Doom? How thick or light should his accent be? What do you think, Professor? I don't think it should be uber thick, but they do actually speak a different language in Latveria, so something. I don't know. I personally, in my head canon, I don't see him. I see him more boastful, and yeah, just not. He shouldn't sound super villainy. He shouldn't sound campy. That's all. Blah, blah, blah. Snyder fans kept going on about Snyder Cut are the most annoying people. Yeah, but there's really only like 13 of them, so it's okay. They just keep repeating. They keep recycling their stuff. What are your favorite comic books that you're reading right now? Immortal Hulk is the best thing I'm reading right now. I also like being surprised at how good Wonder Twins is. It's the most ridiculous thing to be good. And since I just got the 2 Wonder Twins for the Imagine X play set, I'm excited about that. But, what do you call it? Yeah, I don't know. What's some of the other ones? Superior Spider-Man is really good right now. There's, which I expected it to be. I was very happy to be correct about that. Anyway, yeah, there's a bunch of good comic books out right now. Justice League keeps on surprising me. That's what's good. Because Justice League wasn't great before, but all of a sudden it's amazing now. Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying Daredevil. Check out the reviews, dude. I like lavish all over them. Okay, something's wrong. Maybe I just keep on talking too much. It is what it is. What's the best comic of all time? Dude, that's like trying to choose which are your favorite children. Oh, duh. There's like 2 other things that I wanted to show you guys. The last 2 things I need to show you guys. Does anybody play Fortnite? I don't. But these 2 guys look awesome. I don't even know their names. I got to go back and look at the packaging and like write their names on these things because whatever. But like they're freaking awesome, man. Like these 2 guys, I'm gonna totally use these when I'm doing my stop motion stuff. These guys are awesome. This guy right here comes with an extra head. Oh no, not this guy. Sorry, this guy. This guy comes with an extra head. He's all like, so yeah, he's the red. He's either the hearts or the diamonds. Anyway, so yeah, I do not play Fortnite either. Dan Slott discussed on his Twitter. He's still on Twitter. that if and when we get our MCU Fantastic Four, he blesses the idea that KJ Apa, the director who plays Archie on Riverdale, would be a viable Johnny Storm. He blesses the idea. If I don't know how many people are in love with Dan Slott's Fantastic Four right now, but honestly, that would make me less inclined to hire that guy, to cast that guy in the role, because like Dan Slott right now is simply not the foremost expert on the freaking Fantastic Four. Sorry, dude. I'd rather get a Ouija board and try and do a seance to summon up Jack Kirby and Stan Lee's opinion on what the hell to do with freaking, like, if Jonathan Hickman were to talk about what's what with the Fantastic Four, I'm like, yeah, let's talk. If freaking Chip Zdarsky were to sneeze and it looked to be like, if I were to read his snot like it was a tea leaf, you know what I'm saying? I would rather do that than listen to anything that freaking Dan Slott's got to say about the damn Fantastic Four. And right now, everybody who's writing Iron Man right now is doing a better job than Dan Slott. You know what I'm saying? Gail Simone comes in for 2 lousy issues, and like, I'm trying not to be mean, but it's like, can we just give Dan Slott the boot in the butt? Like, can we give him a kick? I always say with my kids, a kick in the butt. We say it quick, and it's like, kicky the butt. You know what I'm saying? Can we just give him a kicky the butt and get him out of here and just, have Gail Simone write it? Or just, please don't let Jim Zub stop helping you out, dude, because right now, sorry, you suck at this. Maybe there's something going on in his life, and I wish him all the best, but I kind of want Marvel to wish him, the best in his future endeavors. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, right now, I'm not satisfied with it, dude. Not happy with it. And he can get mean. I think that he has a hard time disseminating between the ComicSgate guys, who are all but dead at this point. I mean, does anybody actually care about freaking ComicSgate today? But he's confusing those people with the people who are just trying to read some good comic books, and like, yeah, Dan, you're not doing such a great job. And he's acting like we're misogynists, and it's like, oh, how dare you? It's not misogynist to say that you're not very good in this comic book, bro. Like, literally, it has absolutely nothing to do with it. Oh, Miss DC Comics, yeah, dude, Vertigo leaving, that is messed up. Like, that is genuinely messed up. And again, let's just be realistic for a second. If we start putting 2 and 2 and 2 together, what do we get? The reason why Vertigo is leaving is because Dan Slott, because Brian Michael Bendis came along and said, we should make the Black Label where we can have all the really messed up stuff. Like, we can kill somebody. Isn't that what Vertigo does? Yeah. But Black Label. Isn't that like the name of a whiskey? Yeah. Black Label. It's like him trying to, have Lois Lane say Chaz over and over again. Chaz. BAM! Shut up! Freaking Brian Michael Bendis. Knock it off with your Chaz. And what the hell did you do to freaking Vertigo? Yeah. I know Dan Didio is essentially the master of all in that regard. But like, let's be realistic. Dan Slott comes along and says, "Hey guys, let's make a new comic book line called Black Label that's basically just Vertigo." Well, why not just do Vertigo? Because nobody cares about Vertigo. Whoa, man! Like, you just got here, Bendis. You just came to DC, and you already implementing all these changes, these ideas, and everybody's just like, oh, well, Bendis said it. It's got to be true. And this is what I was talking about, in the sense of like politicians. These are people who don't understand what's actually happening in the world. If you've got politicians who are millionaires, how can they understand poor people? Let's just be honest for a second. Let's honestly sit back and think about that for a second. And I'm going to take an example, and I hope nobody, thinks it's some kind of an insult, because it's not. But you take Donald Trump. The guy's a millionaire, not a politician. Hey, I like the idea that he's not a politician, because politicians suck. But he's a politician now, and he's one of the best politicians there is, because he sucks right now. Here's a guy who is so filthy, stinking, ridiculously rich that he actually said, and you can look on YouTube, you could find him, his face, his voice, syncing up and everything. It's actually him talking about, I remember there was this one time I was walking down the street in New York, in Manhattan, And I had just lost everything. I just had another bank. He had 6 bankruptcies, and yet he still has, all this rich stuff. When you and I go through a bankruptcy, it's like, TV dinners are a luxury. It's ramen noodles. You know what I'm saying? What do you call it? This cat? He goes and has the actual nerve to say, "Oh yeah, check this out, man. I saw this bum, and he asked me for some money." And he didn't say he gave him money. Instead, what he says is, "Oh yeah, I realize this man is richer than I am because he has no money, and I owe, like millions and $1 billion or whatever." This person is so completely out of touch with what it means to be poor that as he's sitting on his golden toilet bowl in his Park Avenue high-rise building that he owns, he's got the nerve to say that bum sitting on the street is poorer than him. I'm just saying. You like Donald Trump, you don't like Donald Trump. I don't really care. That doesn't bother me. The trick of the matter is, that is so completely out of touch with the country that you represent right now. Likewise, this is the comparison that I'm making to Brian Michael Bendis. This dude comes into comic books. He has a really great, job with Ultimate Spider-Man, bunch of other things, and all of a sudden, he's like hit or miss with a bunch of things. It's like his way of, let's really shake things up. Let's make somebody gay. What? What? Oh my god. Oh god. Anyway, yeah, so Bendis has some good idea. Dude, I would not trade him on Justice League for anybody right now. I would not trade him on Naomi right now. But at the same time, he's got some help on that, doesn't he? He's got some help on that. So I don't know how much help Campbell is giving him, but dude's got some help. So whatever, just don't break up that team. I don't read Pearl. I don't get into Pearl, but a whole bunch of people tell me, "Oh my god, Professor, Pearl is the bomb." It doesn't appeal to me, but obviously I'm in the minority on that. Brian Michael Bendis does Pearl, so apparently he's doing a great job. As far as I am concerned, though, this dude needs to get off of Superman quick. He needs to get off Superman like Tom King needs to get off of Batman. At least the main title. He wants to go and do a 12-issue limited series with frickin' what's his face, with Batman and Selina. Hey, you go ahead and do that. I cannot read that. It's like, I'm going to get issue 1. I'm going to see what's up. I don't know if I'm going to be reading anything else. But I'll tell you right now, I have no interest in reading his Batman. It kills me. It kills me. But it's Batman. You can't not read Batman. I don't know who cannot read Batman and Superman, the main 2 freaking comic book characters, ever. They're not even my favorite characters. But the respect that they are owed, come on now. So anyway. Oh, yeah, I heard that a lot of the stuff in Jink's World was awesome. And that's great. That's great. I'm so happy that he's doing that stuff, man. I just wish that he was doing better on Superman. I wish that Frank Miller had an editor who actually said, but I have a feeling that editor was overruled. What's the purpose of even writing down editor? If I'm an editor at DC Comics and they say, hey, I want you to be the editing project for Frank Miller doing Superman Year 1. If I go over there, I'm like, yeah, Jeff Johns' art sucks, and what do you call it? Frank Miller, who should be drawing it, instead, this stuff, what he's writing, it's not really that great. I'm sorry, it just doesn't seem like it's worthy of the Black Label. And if this is a brand new line of comics that we're trying to do to replace Vertigo, maybe we shouldn't exactly have freaking, Frank Miller, of all people, coming along and making a crappy Superman title, Year 1. And then the editors, the senior editors, the editor-in-chief and all that says, hey man, you just shut up. It's like, psh, well, I quit the job. I don't want to edit for him. If my edits don't mean anything to you, I don't know what to tell you. I don't want to be on this job. I don't want to make the money for doing this. Assign me to go do something else. Why are you putting my name on? It's like you're blaming me. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying change it. You're saying no, but then you're putting my name on it like I'm the one doing the bad thing. But I'm not. It's you. Dude, not cool, man. Not cool. Oh god, yeah, and he's taking over Legion of Superheroes. We ain't seen Legion of Superheroes in forever, and now we're gonna have to come back to seeing them under Bendis. I don't know how that's gonna be. We'll see. Scott Snyder could do great on Justice Society of America, if Jeff Johns doesn't want to do it. We already know that he does a freaking great job on there. But, it is what it is. Bub and Dub. I don't know what that is, Bruce Johannes. But Bub. I know Bub. That's like what Wolverine always says. JD. So, hey, what's up, JD? So will Justice League Dark be toned down to make it teen appropriate as opposed to teen plus? Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare put a what do you call it? A tether on James Tynion IV. How dare you? Jay Nunya Bitness. Tom King using Mask of the Phantasm to draw attention to Batman Catwoman. Whatever, man. Whatever. Maybe he's good at marketing. We'll see. He made us believe that they were getting married, right? Corey, the last Conan issue was violent and lovely. Hells to the yes. The cut to credits page was, oh crap, you are screwed, sir. Suan, Bendis is a great writer, but he needs his own sandbox where he creates the whole story and history because he does not like playing by other people's rules. Exactly. Like, literally, guys, I know that, what's his name? Jim Shooter is not like the end-all, be-all when it comes to comics, and there's a lot of people who don't like him. I just finished editing and uploading my the panel that I had that I covered with Bob Layton. Bob Layton is the guy who did the Demon in a Bottle story. He did the Armor Wars story, the Doom Quest story, all these amazing Iron Man stories that made Iron Man actually relevant again. And, by the way, he also says, yeah, Tony Stark is a bad guy. He's not necessarily a bad guy, but he's selfish. He's definitely not a hero. Anybody who thinks that Tony Stark is a hero, you're off your gourd, because no, he's not. Sorry, guys. All the big guys, they talk, like they talk like I talk. You know what I'm saying? I guess I should say I talk like they talk. Whatever. Oh, hey, I forgot to show you guys. I got a lampress. I'm just saying. I caught him in the wild. I got a wild lampress. Yes, that should be the last thing I have to show you guys because I think that's everything. Anyway, what do you call it? Yeah, so I gotta do that. Oh, Miss DC Comics, Hawkman is amazing. You damn right he is, man. Oh, Dub is his buddy Spider-Man. Nice. What's the best thing DC is writing right now? That's hard to say, but one of the best things is actually by Vertigo, or through Vertigo, I should say. What have you? The American Carnage, which just came out this week, and next month is going to be the final issue. I don't know that anything's ever a shoo-in, but I've actually got it scheduled to have a conversation with Brian Edward Hill. I asked him, and he said absolutely. Literally, he sent me back one word, absolutely. So that's cool. I know I could talk to him more, but I don't like bothering people, so I don't. But yeah, it'll be cool. I'm gonna actually try and have a conversation with what's his name? Almost time to restart. What? Better wait an hour. Better wait 6 hours. I hate when they do the forced restart nonsense. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to have a conversation with this dude, and we're literally, like, that's going to be, like, I don't know if it's going to be SJW, because I don't think he is, and I'm sure as hell not, but we're definitely going to be talking about a bunch of sensitive, touchy subjects. We're going to be talking like crazy about American Carnage. Maybe some other things will come up too, but I really want to talk about American Carnage with this guy, because to me, like, this is an amazing story that he's doing. We're going to have to talk about Batman and the Outsiders too, you know what I'm saying? Because we got this guy, Duke Thomas, in the story. I mean, come on now. How do we not talk about freaking Batman and the Outsiders? But for the most part, also the little controversy between him and, if you want to call that, what's his face? Mr. Tony Isabella, whom I have a lot of respect for, but yeah, he went a little off the rails on the latest one. Jay Nunya, American Carnage triggers Yellow Flash. You know what? Like, that's the thing. It's these guys who try and act like, they got their crap together. They're the ones that get triggered all the time. That's the thing about people like that. They're just, they're reactionary, and reactionary is one thing, but they project, like projectile vomit. You know what I'm saying? They just project. They'll say the things about you that they actually feel about themselves because they don't know what else to feel. You know what I'm saying? Everything surrounds their little universe, and probably keep on getting hit in the head by that stuff. Did you avoid talking to Mr. Shooter about criticism about his tenure as editor-in-chief? Did you avoid talking to Mr. Shooter about criticism about his tenure? I was wondering what you chose to leave out. I let him just go. I let him just go and talk about whatever. You know, it's funny because the thing is, I didn't want to cover too much of what was already covered. He's got a lot of interviews out there, and for the most part, with all due respect, the greater majority of them suck. The majority of those videos out there, or audio, whatever, of interviews with Mr. Shooter, suck. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, they're very short, they're very whatever. These guys didn't have the, the balls to just go up and ask me. It's like, listen, can we sit down and talk? And I'm going to try and make this unlike any other, thing out there. Like, when I approached the guy, I told him, if you guys saw the interview, and definitely go and watch that interview. This guy is one of the greats. He's one of the links to the past, which Joe Rubinstein will say, yes, so is botulism. But anyway, that was a funny comment. But he was so wrong on that, dude. That is so wrong. I think most of us know not to eat bad meat in a can, right? But I told them in the beginning, I was like, listen, what I want to do is something a little bit different. I want to do a Wikipedia fact or fiction. So I literally looked over the Wikipedia page. I took out little parts, all right? I'm going to reformat them in my own words, and you're going to tell me what's true and false in there. And he loved the idea. Like, after it was over, I'm not going to say he couldn't stop shaking my hand, but I only requested the 2 handshakes, the one at the beginning, the one at the end. I saw him the next day leaving the hotel, and I was actually trying to talk to Mr. Mike DiCarlo, who was there, trying to get another copy of his cover of The Death of Robin, Death in the Family, Part 4 of 4, which, he signed for me and everything. And, totally awesome, totally freaking awesome. And Shooter, he came up to me, he's like, listen, man, I really want to thank you for that interview yesterday. You helped me to clear up a lot of, stuff that's out there. I'm like, dude, genuinely in my heart, thank you. And I'm more than happy to, you know what I'm saying? You get a bad rep and you don't deserve it. You simply don't deserve it. There are people who are critical of you and everybody's entitled to their opinion. But it seems like, you're an easy target. And it's ridiculous, But he's very, very cool people. It was really cool that he did that. So I just wanted to do something different. And it's funny because I could talk to him for another 2 hours. And when I talked to him after, you guys, excuse me, what do you call it? Him and Mike DiCarlo both gave me their personal contact information. This is Jim Shooter's business card that he gave me. And on the back, is his personal email, which I don't bother him because I don't like to bother people. But he actually wrote down his personal email on there for me. For the sake of conversation, it's a freaking, it's an AOL account, which is he's old. This guy's old. But we've actually talked back and forth a little bit, and I've tried to be short, and I hope he's not insulted by it, but, I don't like bothering people. After I got finished talking to Donnie Cates, he's like, dude, you want to do this again one of these days? Call me up, talk to me. You've got my, we've got our, what is it called? The DMs, saying we're synced with DMs right now. You send me a message, I'll get it immediately. You know what I'm saying? And just ask me anything, talk to me about anything. I was like, dude, thank you, but I won't. And he looked at me like, wait, what? I was like, no, not to be insulting, but I don't want to bother you. You're busy. You just go out and kick some ass on those awesome comic books. I don't want to disturb you. I don't want to bother you, What's his name? Joe Rubinstein, one of the guys who signed on my gauntlet. You know what I'm saying? He's the inker for all 6 issues of the Infinity Gauntlet. He gave me his private phone number. You know what I'm saying? I've never called him because, that's just... I don't know why I would need to call him. What do I need to call the guy for, right? But, no, he's a great person. He did that image for me. I want to show it off again because I just love it. Oh, shoot. I tried to draw Puck. I don't know if you guys can see this very well or not. Like when they announced that Alpha Flight is going to have, for the most part, all Canadian people doing it, it's not true because Federico Blee is going to be on colors and he's Mexican. Federico Blee is freaking awesome, by the way, but just pointing out, it's not all Canadians doing it. But Ed Brisson was like, yeah, I'm going to return to lettering just so we can keep it all Canadian. But I was like, dude, I want to draw a cover. And I was like, you know, I haven't drawn in forever. And I'm thinking to myself, if I can draw a totally awesome freaking, cover, then maybe I can get Carlos to you know, make a thing. Maybe he can make a Gotham Central cover for the comic book. Anyway, I'm dumb. I'm a ditz. I don't know about a ditz, but like I'm weird, so whatever. But dude, Joe Rubenstein, one of the guys who created Gambit and Elektra, made this for me because I helped him out so much in the thing. So I've got an exclusive. Nobody else has that image, and he did that, and he was smiling his ass off over it. Oh, hey, Sebastian at least, and whoever else might care. I got Chroma also. I got her yesterday, so that was cool. I got Chroma. Can't find Prowl anywhere, and I can't find what's his name, Ultra Magnus anywhere. It's killing me, dude. It's killing me. Also, I've got to do this. Adem Kemal, I think his name is, Absolute Zero. He sent me this autographed. I'm gonna complain about that because he autographed it, but he didn't personalize it. I don't sell my comic books, and people who just ask for autographs are trying to sell their comic books. Duh. And I don't sell my comic books, so I want my stuff personalized. I want to say to Professor Bill, so I got to complain about that. But anyway, I keep on forgetting to do this. This actually came out like 2 weeks ago. So Category 0, issue number 1 from Scout Comic Books. I'm going to read that tonight, and I'm going to try and do that review and have that up tomorrow. What are the criticisms of Shooter's editorship? They say that he was just really mean. He rushed things, and it is what it is. But whatever. Some people will do a good job with that. Some people won't do a good job of that. I'll tell you right now, Bob Layton had an opinion on him because I asked that question. I was like, hey, are you still cool with Jim Shooter? He had an opinion on that. You'll see it when I post that. I could just hit, go right now on that. I might. You know what, I might. After I'm finished with this, if you guys are bored, I'll post that so you guys can sit down with a popcorn and listen to about an hour long of Bob Layton, the guy who had a lot to do with the creation of Iron Man number 1 and 2, the movies, and he also has a lot to do with the Bloodshot movie coming out featuring Vin Diesel as Bloodshot. So a whole bunch of stuff in there. And he has got this story which he could not stop laughing about with Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rourke. With Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rooney. What the hell's the matter with me? He has this story about Mickey Rourke. And he tells it towards the end, and it's freaking hysterical. And I make it just a little bit funnier. Just saying. What's my favorite War of the Realms tie-in? What were all the War of the Realms tie-ins? Because there were a bunch of them, and I liked a bunch of them. I don't know. That single issue of Spider-Man, League of Legends, I think it was, whatever it was. There was the one with just no, it wasn't Strike Force. I can't remember which one it was. It was with Captain America and Spider-Man. Yeah, and a bunch of people going for it. That was probably my favorite one. After that was a single issue though. There was the 2 issues of Captain Marvel. That was really good though. I really liked that also. Yeah, there were a bunch, man. There were a bunch. Agents of Atlas probably has to be the most important one. Probably has to be. And I talked about it with those issues. There's still one more to go. But you're right, Edward Burr. It was a lot of money to get people into it. But Agents of Atlas, guys, even if you can get that second print of Agents of Atlas issue number 1, dude, you're talking about that book is going to skyrocket. It's a key issue. I don't always talk about key issues, or at least I don't always say this is a key issue. Instead, I'll say what happens in this issue so you get an idea. But this is undeniably a key issue because this could, if Marvel's smart, this could open the world of comic books into the world of manga, which will radically increase the sales of comic books. I'm just saying. So yeah, great way to do that. This could Agents of Atlas could very well be the gateway um, for manga and comics to combine and rule the world. Yes, JD. I think they are going to have extra pages. Greg Pak is assigned to those. I think Greg Pak does good with manga style stories. Mech Warrior G, I think he was called. I can't remember what it was called, but that was a really good story. And it just Mech Warrior who I thought it was Hugh or something like that. It was really good. It's just weird how like he added the stories onto it afterwards. He only had 4 stories. He should have kept it to 4 stories. But some of the after ones were pretty cool though. Bruce Johannes, I wish they would just do double-sized issues of main title War of Realms instead of spreading it all over. Agreed. Yeah. Yeah. It would be, I don't know. I think that they keep on trying to do all the individual sales to get people to buy stuff. I think most of us just wait for the omnibus to come out so that, we can just get the whole event, and in order, in the correct order. Michael Bandionis. Hey, Professor, speaking of vertigo, I don't have vertigo. I'm pretty okay right now. A little nausea, maybe. Joking, sorry. Bad jokes. I'm not great at jokes. Do you have an opinion on the original Hellblazer series? The original Hellblazer series was interesting. I'm kind of opinionated on it because Alan Moore created the character, obviously, and he wasn't expecting it to go much more than that. I think it was like a double-edged sword with him. I never saw any interviews where he talked about it, but it doesn't seem like he actually wanted it to go out, but he was happy that it did go out and was so successful. You know what I'm saying? Either way, it had its moments. It had its moments. Hey, there's Silver Surfer. It's about time you showed up, you dork. What do you call it? Look, I got General Grievous, the $70 one. Yeah, I tried to wait to show you, and I finally showed everybody. So, like, you get the sloppy seconds. But I got my General Grievous. I'm very excited about that. He's actually got the little pockets in the back. I showed it earlier. He's got the little pockets in the back of the... I can show it again. Inside the cape to house the lightsabers. Yep, 4 of them. The glowy part of the lightsabers actually come off, so it's just the handles, and you can put them in there. He's very articulatable. Yeah, it's totally freaking awesome, dude. I love this character. Absolutely love this character. I just need to get my hands on a couple of Luke Skywalkers, a cool Darth Vader, and a Boba Fett. Because I got his dad up there. Anyway. Oh, jeez, calling out everybody. Bill missed you. You are his favorite student. No, everybody's my favorite student. Avengers No Surrender and No Road Home is what they should have to do with all these big events instead of the crap tie-ins. Yes, yeah, I could see it. The thing is that the tie-ins, if they only did it once a year, the tie-ins should be a really great way, a great opportunity to have people, because the whole purpose of tie-ins is to say, oh, look, you want to see what's going on with this character over there? Are you reading the book? Because if so, you'll know. But if you're not reading the book, you're not going to know what's happening with this character over there. But you have to make it so it matters, so people actually want to read the tie-ins, so they feel they need to read the tie-ins. Seriously. And then make sure you're up to par with those tie-ins. Because if you're writing, I don't know, whatever, character X over here, and then there's a 1 or 2 issue tie-in with this event in your comic book because you agreed to it, make it an awesome thing, really show off the character and your writing style, show off the awesome art, so this way somebody comes back over and says, oh, hey, maybe I'm going to keep on reading someone's, Mr. X book, whatever, because it looks like it could actually be pretty good. Yeah, that's what they need to do. Instead of just, oh yeah, I'll do a tie-in to boost up my sales for a little while. No! No. Get new readership on your book. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to be exposure. This is marketing inside the comic book world. But they really don't do that, and there are too many events with too many tie-ins, and it gets tedious after a while. Yes, Sue-Ann, you and Dick Fillmore are both freaking facilitators. Your faculty, your admin. Like, your admin. I sometimes pay an extra $1, JD, for those awesome variants, because sometimes they're awesome variants. The Hawkman just had an awesome variant 2 weeks ago. Anyway, we're coming on that hour mark, so I think I'm gonna boot out of here. Too many events that I just don't personally care for most of them. The problem is that there really are teachers' assistants. There we go, the TAs. They're the same price. Yeah, some of them are the same price, but then you have the ones that are more, and maybe it's just the comic book shops that are doing that. But you do have the ones that are more. You have the frick. What the heck is it called? You have the whatever. There's a bunch that are sometimes more. Crap. Incentives. There you go. You got the incentive covers, the retailer incentive covers. There are a bunch of different ones. You got the secret variant covers that are collectible, that they're going to be priced at more to begin with. The cardstock covers. Yes, stuff like that. The what's it called? The lithograph covers. All those stuff. The holographic covers. Remember those? They'll come back. I promise you that. But yeah, man, they got a whole bunch of those. What's your favorite comic book run of all time? That's an easy one. I think almost anybody can answer that one. Walter Simonson doing Thor for that 5 years. Beyond amazing. Beyond amazing. Before anyone outside of this chat calls Brian Hill an SJW, the guy follows SJW Spider-Man, actual username, yes. Not against it, just pointing it out. And I follow both guys. SJW Spider-Man shows some of the stuff that Richard Meyer dude does. That your boy Zach guy shows some of the silly things that he says, and the guy does say some silly things. Girls are naturally not good at science. Like, I don't know why people don't know that. Really? Are you actually that dumb? Girls are naturally not good at science. Okay, sure. My oldest daughter codes computers. Not the little coding stuff, no. She actually codes computers. Meanwhile, this guy, he tries to do admin stuff with the internet. That's cute, dude. That's cute. Me personally, I helped actually create Wi-Fi. Not Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi, wireless internet, the WLAN. I was actually one of those original projects. And there were two. There was the Nortel, and there was the one that I worked on, Newbridge. So I worked on Newbridge. I'm just saying, that's pretty damn awesome, as opposed to being a guy that everybody yells at. Hey, my computer's not up, and he yells back, did you try turning it off and turning it back on? Don't tell me that girls are bad at science, dude. Just don't tell me that girls are bad at science. Freaking moron. Barbarella, Deja Thoris. Yeah, those, what is that? Dynamite Comics does those, right? Minus Claremont's run on X-Men. Nice. Listening to some Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson's good with his psychology stuff. I don't know if he purposely lies about socialism and the Bolshevik revolution. That is not what freaking happened, and it's sure as hell not why it happened. What do you call it? Like, I don't know, the Bill C-14 was? I forget what it was. I don't know how the bills work over here like that, but the one about you have to call someone, otherwise you go to jail. Like, politicians were trying really hard to be nice to this guy. They were treating him like he was a freaking piece of glass, because he, like I said, he either literally had no clue what that was, or he purposely, blatantly went out of his way to lie about that. There was never, ever, ever a chance that somebody was going to go to jail for misgendering someone, for using the incorrect pronoun, or using a pronoun that they didn't approve of. And we don't have to memorize 76, whatever the hell he said. Like, that dude, he's really good when it comes to psychology. His book, 12 Rules, whatever it was, I have it. I read through a lot of it. I didn't finish it. I might one of these days. It's good stuff. That's a good book. But the guy's either inherently stupid with everything else that he opens his mouth about, or he's a blatant liar and should have a freaking muzzle put over him, because, like, whatever the heck it is that he's done, he's been accused of harassment on 3 separate occasions. I'm accusing him of being a jackass on 100 different occasions. Yeah, like I said, look, but I can give credit where credit's due. Like I said, when it comes to psychology, the guy knows what he's talking about. But he has no idea what he's talking about when it comes to religion, even. You know, like, stick to Christianity and your brand, and that's why it's supposed to be a personal religion. He talks to atheists, and they teach him about his religion, and they're right. There's this one famous, I don't know what he's, some atheist channel. It's a YouTube channel on atheism, and, like, they... what do you call it? He had a debate with this guy. He's bald. He's got a big bald head and a goatee. And the guy just lambasted him. He had a debate with Sam Harris. I remember when this guy was talking about, I find it weird that people don't want to debate me. First off, because debates are stupid, too. You suck at debating. He sat there talking about, well, the only way to really have a God experience is through various forms of chemical induction, like with LSD and things like that. Dude, shut up. Oh my God. Oh my God, you are so dumb. Dumb. People look up to him because he sounds good. People can sound intelligent, but at the end of the day, that guy kills me, man. That guy kills me. Please talk about psychology, because you're very, very good at it. But when if he talks about the weather, he's going to muck it up somehow. You know what I'm saying? How you liking this snowstorm in the middle of July? Shut up, dude. Shut up, man. By the way, you look better with the freaking goatee. Keep the beard. Keep the beard. He has that Abraham Lincoln thing. You ugly without that freaking beard. What do you call it? Metropolis? I don't know what. Oh, the TV show? Cool. He's where Richard got his ideas about women and science. Is it? There was this guy who did a book called The Jewish Mind. I can't remember his name, but I read that book. This was not too long out of high school. I read that book. And he is this, I can't remember look up the book, The Jewish Mind. He is a strong bigot. And then he made a book called The Arab Mind also. And in it, he basically talked about how intelligence is divided up amongst the ethnicities. It's like, I'm sorry, let me get this straight. The amount of lemon in your skin, is that what you're saying, determines your cognitive functions? Like, what exactly? This is one of those situations where I talk about, if you think that an argument is good, break down the argument. Take the opposite side of the argument, try and break down that argument. If you believe in that side of the argument, then flipping the tables and trying to destroy the argument will make you the best representative of that argument. Or you'll realize that it's idiotic. And people like that, man, are ridiculous. Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus was actually a pretty damn good book. It's one of the reasons why my wife and I have been married for so long. Because, wow. Aggressively relaxing. Peterson got famous after making the observation that college students can be frustrating sometimes. Look at him stride across the field of original ideas like the Colossians. Well, you know what's funny about him is that he tried like 4 or 5 times prior to that to be famous also. He went. If you look at Canadian news, because it's available here, and in Canada, that's the funny thing. He's not considered brilliant here in Canada, because we have access to all that stuff, all of his old stuff. He was on the news networks. He would go on these news stations, local news stations, and just start talking about all the problems, the mental problems that his family has. He tried, what do you call it? He came back like a year later and started talking about the carnivorous diet with his daughter. I think his daughter is still trying to do that. She's a carnivore at this point. It's the only thing that keeps her mind straight, and she goes psychotic without it. Which that's cool and all that, but it's like, this guy is, he just, and there's at least two other things where he just goes out of his way. Like, he started exploiting his family's mental illness. Everyone in his family, including himself, exploiting their mental illnesses just because he wanted so hard to be famous. Like, that's just a shame, man. That's just a shame. Continue this conversation. Finally checked out Hercules and Xena. Not as good as Buffy and Angel, but pretty damn good. Also checking out The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. Stars Bruce Campbell. Nice. I met Bruce Campbell at the Niagara Falls ComicCon. Him, The Undertaker. I didn't get to meet The Undertaker, but him, The Undertaker, Billy D. Williams, and what's Doc Brown's real name? Christopher Lloyd. They do not want the press to take pictures of them. Like, you got to pay to take pictures of them. That's something else. Meanwhile, I should talk about this. Meanwhile, some of the other people there are some of the most hospitable people ever. The husband and wife that were the next door neighbors to Al Bundy, in the Bundys. What was that called? Married with Children. The Married with Children TV show. That's one of my favorite lines in what do you call it, in movie history. I'm gonna teach you to speak English with this effing knife. You see this knife? I love that thing. But the two neighbors, not the original husband, but the later husband, they were both there at the Comic-Con. The husband guy, like, he's the more famous guy. He was also in Revenge of the Nerds. He was like the main jock. The girl who was part of the pie thing, like, she was in they were showing her pie in the pie. You get what I'm saying? Anyway, for Revenge of the Nerds, she was such a sweetie. She was an absolute sweetie. Wonderful person. Amanda, I think it was Amanda. I can't remember her last name, and I feel so bad for this. But I walked up to everybody. I'm like, hey, press picture? We could. Road Warrior Animal is cool. I was like, hey, do you mind if I get a press picture? He's like, yeah, man, get over here. And he's like, yeah, like that. I was like, holy crap, dude, just don't scare me. Holy crap, man. And like, I'm taking snapshots. Totally cool people. Bierce, yes. Amanda Bierce, yes. And dude, Julius, whoa. I'm good, dude. I'm good. What do you call it? Nice one, Julius. Anyways, yes, Amanda Bierce. She is freaking awesome. I walked up and was like, excuse me, Miss Bierce, can I get a press shot? A press photo? And I'm like showing my badge. I still got it over here somewhere. I was like, press. And she's like, hi. She's like, yes, you may. And my name is Amanda. What's your name? And she actually reached out her hand. And I was like it completely took me by shock, because usually everybody's like, that's right. I'm nobody in the world, but here in Comic-Cons, you all love me and you adulate me, so I will be a jerk. Too many people do that. Not her. Like, I shook her hand. I told her, I was like, my name's Bill. She's like, Bill, it is a genuine pleasure to meet you. I was like, oh my God. I wanted to give her a hug. Like, she was, it would have been a little bit too much, but like she was freaking awesome. I've never met anyone that nice before. You know what I'm saying? Like celebrity level. I've never met someone that nice before. That's going on the record. That was freaking awesome. I almost got into a fist fight with Bam Bam Bigelow in a drugstore one time. And yes, he would have kicked my ass, even though he was stark raving drunk. But I would have had the opportunity to tell everybody, that's right, I survived getting into a fight with a drunken Bam Bam Bigelow. he would have kicked my ass, and it would have hurt. But like, we're both two, jackasses from Asbury Park, New Jersey. So go figure. Anyway, yeah, dude. But this guy, like her, she was awesome. Amanda Bierce was freaking awesome. Somebody else who was pretty cool, which surprised me because I heard the exact opposite, was Kimberly, Pink Power Ranger, the original Pink Power Ranger. Oh, I know her name. Okay, fine. Somebody say it in there because she's awesome. I heard that George Clooney was cool. What do you call it? Yeah, there's a couple cool people out there. Who's the guy who keeps on playing Trump on Saturday Night Live? He's cool. I met him. What do you call it? In Jersey, you meet a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're right there, New York, New Jersey. I met him in New York. I met him in Washington Square. It was opening. What do you call it? The preview, whatever. Only it was invitation only to see the opening rendition, whatever, of Hamlet. And yeah, it was nice. Anyway, Amy Jo Johnson, that's her name, and I didn't see it on here yet. Nobody said it yet. Amy Jo Johnson, y'all screwed up. So anyway, Amy Jo Johnson, I met her there, and I walked up, was like, "Excuse me, can I get a press pass?" Man, it sounds chilling. After that start, yes, she was still in the mid. Yes, she was in Fright Night also. Yes, and like she was hot in that. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I walked up to Amy Jo Johnson also. There's still a couple of people in line. I was like, "She was sorry. Can I get a press shot really quick?" She's like, "Oh yeah, sure." And she's like, like that. I was like, "Oh hey, but now," like that. I walked up to what do you call it? After that, I was like, "Hey, listen," and just on a personal note, I wanted to say. I don't know how many guys you hear saying this, but I used to watch Felicity when it was on before it went into syndication. So I actually watched that weekly. It came on when I got home from work. I got home late, and I watched it because you were the Pink Power Ranger, and there was you had that one really like messed up special episode or whatever where you really introduce people to the idea of like date rape actually happens. She's like. And the thing that bothered me just a little bit, is that she didn't remember what it was. She's like, "What?" She's like, "Which episode was that?" I was like, "You were in Felicity for like the entire first season. Maybe I think some of the second season too, whatever it was." She's like, "Yeah, I was there for a while." I was like, "Yeah, you were like one of the mainstays." Anyway, there was this scene, or what do you call it? The one episode where you got like date raped. She's like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Yeah," and like. You dealt with the repercussions of that for a long time in the show, and like it was powerful, and nobody was talking about that at the time. Nobody. So literally, like, I'm a guy, and I just had a daughter. You know what I'm saying? I just had my firstborn. I had a daughter, and all of a sudden, like, I've got a new, like, After high school, I went immediately into the Army. So I never had those college experiences of like, living on campus and, hey, let's go out and have some fun and woo. I never did that. I never joined a fraternity. I don't have those experiences. So yeah, I never had the whole, there was never like something like that presented where there could be a potential, what do you call it, date rape or, oh, she was drunk and took advantage. Like, that never, and thank God. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to even talk about. But seeing that, like, it opened I'm like, boom! And I'm, like, looking at my kid, thinking, like, oh, my God. Like, I've got to keep my freaking eyes open about everything at this point. Wow. So it's like, I'm just telling you, like, it was powerful in a time when nobody else was talking about it. It was actually revolutionary for its time. She's like, really was, wasn't it? I never thought about that. She's like, thank you. I was like, no, you don't get to thank me. Thank you. and she, like, she's gorgeous. I'm just saying. I think she's married. I don't know, but like, she gave me this smile. It was like the most beautiful freaking smile. I'm like, oh my God, she's still beautiful. And I just walked away with a smile of my own. Like, freaking A, man. So I think that made her day. That also helped to make my day. It was a good moment. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there was some great experiences there, dude. Second Street Marble, what's up, dude? Very excited for Externals movie. Whoa, 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 whoa! They're making an Externals movie. I know they're making an Eternals movie. If they're also making the Externals, which is not too many people know about the Externals unless you're an X-Force fan from back in the days. Did you make a mistake, Sabah? Because I think you made a mistake. Which is fine. Which is fine. What do you call it? AOS, Agents of S.h.i.e.l.D. Yes, yes, yes. Have you watched the Young Justice animated series? I watched the first season. I didn't watch the second season, and thus the third season. This season is incredible. Oh, Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. Really? I haven't been watching Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. I'm sorry. I gotta go back and try and get all those. I know. Sorry. It's alright, Sabah. We're good. Raven, once again, see, when Raven speaks, I'm like, I know you guys think I'm joking maybe, but I'm serious when I say this. When Raven speaks, I'll just be like, do. Oh, he said something. Yeah, he's right. And it's not like, hey, you know what? Raven's right. No, it's like, oh yeah, Raven's right again. I genuinely count on Raven. If I say something wrong, or if one of you guys say something wrong, he's going to get it right. What do you call it? But yeah, I've got to watch the Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. I forget. I think it's only like 13 episodes. I was really looking forward to it too, and there was just way too much going on, and I'm trying to do so many other things also, dude. This September, both of my young ones will be in school. Yeah, I'm so happy. You have no freaking idea. Both of my kids will be in school. I will actually have free time. Because, like, my wife gets free time. She'll come home from work and she'll be tired. If she comes home late, I've already got the kids in bed. I got some dinner for her. I'm a good stay-at-home dad. I'm a good stay-at-home husband. You know what I'm saying? I work from home also in the AM. But even though I want to sleep so freaking bad, the idea is that I get to just let her, whoop, and like, there are times, like, I'll take them out, but, like, take the car, I'm going to take the kids, I'll be back later on tonight. And she'll be like, oh. And she could just do whatever she wants. She could play her music loud, or she can, watch. She usually just sits down and watches Star Trek or Stargate, one of those. Both of them. If we had two TVs, she'd have them both on at the same time. Star Trek Voyager and Stargate, either Atlantis or SG-1. She don't care. She loves them. She's more into sci-fi than I am, believe it or not, which is crazy. Anyhow, yeah, man, like, that's the deal. Like, whoa, hold on, sorry, I'm going to stop what I'm saying. Mark Guerrero, what did North Korea, Kim Jong-il, God damn you, what did you do to this one thing? Them damn North Koreans, how dare you? What do you call it? What did North Carolina do to Swamp Thing? Because I didn't see why it ended, why it was canceled. What's up with that? New Krypton. Wow. Was building up slow. Alright, I'll check that out. Would be interesting. Yeah, I got to see Krypton also. I really do want to see that also because, like, freaking A. Hey, you guys remember 25 minutes ago I was talking about leaving? Actually, it was 23 minutes ago. But still, now I got to wait to see what's going on here. Come on. Type faster, Mark Guerrero. What happened to freaking Swamp Thing? That was North Carolina's fault. I almost did it again. What the frick, dude? Anyway, dude. Ah, crap. A&W does these paper straws. They're actually like cardboard, but like really, they're 100% biodegradable, which is freaking awesome. Unfortunately, it doesn't last very long. Crap. Oh, am I going to be able to drink out of this thing? Does it have holes in it now? Nom nom nom. North Carolina was supposed to give them $40 million tax rebate. They messed up, so the accountant only gave them $14 million, so DC canceled it. Okay, I'm going to say something really bad here. I'm going to say something really bad. F them. Alright? And when I say them, North Carolina has its own problems. It is what it is. But North Carolina is not exactly the richest state in the Union, is it? Alright? They got a whole lot of problems. Why in the hell are they giving refunds and rebates and tax credits and things like that to freaking DC. Why? To Warner Brothers. Why? You know, it's the funniest thing to me. It's so hilarious to me. People talk about, oh, I hate socialism. I hate socialism. America's never going to be socialist. It's too far this way to ever go that way. It will never be socialist. But there is socialism today. There is a lot of socialism in America. The problem is we're looking in the wrong direction. We look at poor people, you know, who get a couple of bucks for welfare. And let's be realistic. If there's anybody out there right now who's on welfare, you know that it sucks and you can't hardly do anything. There's very few people are actually incentivized to stay on welfare. But you want to know where the real welfare is? It goes towards the corporations. The richest person alive today in the world is Jeff Bezos, who paid 0% taxes. Zero. What happens if you pay zero taxes? You go to jail, dude. Death and taxes, they talk about that. But somehow, Jeff Bezos, who used to pay his workers nothing until Bernie Sanders came along and bullied him, good for you, Bernie, one of the good things that Bernie's done, bullied him, without even being president, he did that, into, upping the salary to $15 an hour. It's about a living wage. It should have actually gone up to like $19 or $20 an hour, but whatever. Baby steps, right? We talk about, well, you know, you're a taxpayer. Why am I going to pay to, you know, I don't want to pay for people to have health insurance. Get a job that has health insurance. There are people who work at crappy jobs to have health insurance because they know that their thing isn't going to be covered. It's going to be a medical expense, a pre-existing condition, they'll call it. Like that's the problem with having privatized health care. It sucks. Sabah, over there in England, would you give up your privatized health care, your social health care that your tax dollars actually pay for freaking a privatized health care? Like, I don't think anybody would do that. I can't remember the name of the guy, but as an up-and-coming Canadian, the most important person in Canada, voted by Canadians, is the guy who came up with the idea of an actual functioning, healthcare system in Canada. He's considered the most important person. I know people like to try and talk trash, but Canadians don't actually like their healthcare system. They complain about it all the time. Yeah, they actually have something to complain about, and people always complain about something, and people always want to make something better. But to say, oh yeah, man, that guy over there, we're in the desert, and he's drinking water, but you know, like that's his water source. He actually has a water source, and he's complaining that the water doesn't taste good. So we're better off just drinking, you know, dust. It's the dumbest freaking arguments in the world, and this is what I talk about. Yes, see, Sabah, what she just said. Everyone deserves free health care. If you are a taxpayer, you deserve for your taxes to actually go to something instead of going, because let's be realistic, when Jeff Bezos and all these other rich people don't pay their taxes, guess who's actually paying their taxes? It's all of us, because the roads still have to be fixed. The carbon emissions still have to be tethered. When you have these people who turn around and they're just like, you know, oh, let's give... Taxation is theft. Yes, that is a great libertarian talking point. But at the end of the day, it's also been proven that if you have 100 or more people together in a community, you have to have some sort of leadership. If you have some sort of leadership, you have to, double-edged sword, I guess, you have to have people actually taking care of things. So here's the thing. Taxation is theft. I hear you. That's really great. If that's the case, go live on an island someplace, brother. Because the idea of taxation being theft, to a degree, taxation is necessary. It's necessary. The problem is what's being done with our tax dollars. All right? Why is it that we've got all the money in the world for the military-industrial complex, and it's not going to the soldiers? I said the military-industrial complex. I was a soldier. I know what it's like, and they don't get much more than I made back then. You know how much I made every 2 weeks as a soldier? About $700. I also got to live in the barracks with 4 other people. Or excuse me, with 3 other people. Yeah. Yeah. I got free meals, I guess, and all I had to do was take the chance that we would go to war and we would all die. But that's that's socialism. Having a military is socialistic. So if taxation is theft, how exactly should we pay for a military? Do you want it to be that, help, help, my house is on fire? Okay, sure. Before you tell me the address, I need you to give me your credit card number. Come on, man. We're continuing. Well, if it's just that, if someone comes to your door and threatens you with imprisonment or death, if you don't give... Okay, you are a Rand Paul follower. Rand Paul says some pretty amazing and beautiful things, and I do not disagree with you. At the same time, I want you to remember something. The things that you're saying have been talked about for 40 years. I'm warning you. If you go outside of your echo chamber or your bubble, you will understand there's a whole lot of arguments against that, because 40 years, that's like the idea of supply side economics. At the end of the day, we know that it doesn't work. And the idea of, here's the thing. You're right. Every single law is enforced at the end of the barrel of a gun. If I jaywalk, do you believe that you could be killed by the police for jaywalking? You can, through proxy. If I jaywalk across the street and the police see me, they will give me a ticket. I refuse to pay the ticket because I don't think I did anything wrong. I'm crossing the freaking street, and it's safer to cross here than it is down there, and I don't feel like walking all the way down there anyway. It's safe. I take the risk. I'm okay with it. But somebody comes along, some cop, all right, and says, oh, I'm going to give you a ticket. And then I say, oh, hey, man, check it out. What do you call it? I refuse to pay this ticket because that's ridiculous. So then the cops come along and they say, well, then I'm going to arrest you. I'm going to send you to jail. And I say, whoa, 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 whoa. First off, buddy, I'm not going to your jail. You're trying to kidnap me. You're actually trying to kidnap me. That's what's happening here. I do not agree with this. I do not agree with what you're saying. I do not agree with any of this stuff. I absolutely refuse to say or to go along with you in this kidnapping attempt. So what happens? They decide if I resist hard enough, they will pull out a gun and they will shoot me. See you later, Paula. They will actually pull out a gun and I could be shot for resisting going to jail for this. There are 100%, you are 100% correct in ideas like that. Here's the problem. We can't just stop there. Because let's say if somebody comes to my house and they want to break into my house. And then I'm going to turn around like what? I've got to take care of things. I've got to be awake at all times. No. If I want to call somebody up and say, "Hey man, somebody's coming around my house and they're messing with my stuff." Ugh. So somebody's going to come there at some point. Police. How do we are you suggesting we going back to the days of the Pinkertons where we have private police, privatized police who are basically just thugs walking around? That's where the term the jackbooted thugs comes up. No, we can't go back to the days of the Pinkertons. I hear what you're saying about taxation is theft. In my opinion, taxation is only theft if it's a dictatorship. Okay, but if we are electing the people in charge of these offices, then they actually represent us, as opposed to representing the lobbyists and the big corporate donors and things like that, which is what unfortunately happens here. We have to do certain rules to make sure that our representatives actually represent us. In which case, we can all decide, we can democratically vote on how much taxes is taken, because that's what needs to happen. Otherwise, what happens? How do you get from here to there? How do you get to wherever you're going to go? Who's going to pay for the roads? You're talking about having dirt roads to get to where, and then cars aren't going to work nearly as well as they used to, or nearly as well as they need to. And that's pretty obvious, because who's going to pay for the roads? I mean, at the end of the day, one of the big problems that we have right now is you have a place like Walmart, the Waltons, the richest family that there is, who pay their people. They're finally going to jack their prices up to $11 an hour. That's still poverty. That's still below the poverty line, but it's better than minimum wage, And these people are going to wind up getting screwed. Because what do? They come along with their big trucks, you know, heavy tractor trailers, destroying our roads, polluting our air, and who's paying for it? Oh, they privatized it, and this is a saying. This is a famous saying right now. They privatize the rewards, but they socialize the cost. So when the road gets destroyed, our tax dollars go to fix it because they're not paying a whole lot of taxes. They've got loopholes to get out of it. The trick of it is, your average common citizen who's just working for a living should not have to pay taxes. That's my opinion. But Jeff Bezos, the Waltons, all these big wig corporations that are out there, they should 100% have to pay taxes. They should undeniably have to pay taxes. And in that case, I do not call taxation theft. I call it payment for services rendered. We built these roads, you're destroying the roads. My car cannot do nearly as much damage to a road as a tractor trailer, at least off the 30 that it takes going out of each depot, and that's just the small ones. My car, everything that revolves around me, myself and I, or my family, cannot pollute in 1 year what a rubber factory can pollute in 1 day. So these people need to be paying taxes. They need to be paying taxes to offset the damage that they're doing in the world right now. I don't want to see anybody harmed by any means, especially over money. Blackwater is not the solution either. Blackwater, yeah. Betsy DeVos's brother, Prince. I forget what his first name is. But yes, yeah, I agree. I'm not single. I'm single. My impact on the earth is minimal. Exactly. Our impact on the earth is extremely minimal. But what about the impact that these big corporations are doing with their trucks going in and out, with the oil that leaks out of the cars? Because it happens. If you ever rode a motorcycle, you know that the highways have oil all over them. That's the reason why motorcycles, a lot of people don't realize this, that's the reason why motorcycles ride on the end of the the sides of the roads, like where the lines are. People are like, why don't you just ride in the middle? Because they're on two wheels, and that's where the oil leaks out of cars. So that's where it's the slippiest. It's the easiest for a bike to fall over. Like, it sucks. A little north of Houston. So you're way down south, dude. That's cool and all. But, like honestly, what is the impact that you have on society? Your carbon footprint is minuscule. They couldn't see it from space. I couldn't see it from here. But these big companies, they need to be paying their taxes. I do not believe that individual citizens should have to pay taxes. I believe that we should be reaping the benefits of these bigger companies. But the fact that we do pay taxes, that your average citizen pays 26% taxes, I think that we should get something for it. I don't think that we should learn to be tough. No, I think that we should get free education. I believe that we should get free health care. And I think that's the absolute minimum, the absolute bare minimum. We all try to live within our means, but at the end of the day, we're just, dude, it's like, this is not the conversation that I meant to have. But, we're all just trying to get by. You know what I'm saying? We all try to live within our means, and it's so easy to look down. It's so easy to punch down. So we look at, people who can't afford to give to pay for school lunches for their kids, and people get upset over that. We're getting upset over lunches for kids in a public school. That bothers me a lot. And realistically, let's just be honest for a second. Poor people who like to consider themselves middle class, but let's be realistic. There is no middle class anymore. If you do not 100% own your own home, you are not middle class. If you have a mortgage on your home, you are not middle class. It completely flies in the face of what middle class actually means. If you rent, you are not middle class. And that's just facts. Unless you're making like more than $70,000 per year per person in your household, per adult in your household. You're not middle class. That's just facts. So if you're making less than that, according to your family size, you are lower economic class. And if there's some rich guy who comes along and says, listen, I don't want to pay taxes for education because I think that it's ridiculous. Um, yes, yes, the free lunch ticket, it's a separate line and it's embarrassing and you had to have that ticket out. Yes, it was embarrassing. It's disgusting. All public, all lunches should be free. Silver Surfer, you're awesome. All lunches should be free, regardless of your income, so that we take away the embarrassment. Kids should not have to be embarrassed. Kids have enough to be worried about. Kids have enough to be freaking worried about with that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? What do you call it? But when we sit here talking about, some rich guy saying, I don't want to pay for your dumb kid to go to school, to a public school. You should, if you actually, if you had kids, you should take advantage, or you should take responsibility for your kids, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, and put your kid in a private school. If you don't put your kid in a private school, why am I paying for your kid to go to school? Your stupid kid. If a rich person were to say that, that's no different than a poor person complaining to a poorer person about having to pay for a kid's school lunch. That's the likeness of here. Taxes is important, but just as important, probably more important, is where that taxation goes. And if this is a real democracy, which it's not, it's a republic, but even if it's a real republic, we're supposed to be represented. Why did we fight the Revolutionary War? As an American, why did we fight the Revolutionary War? What is the main thing that was said? No taxation without representation. Where the hell is my representation? There's none. And that's the problem. The problem is not the taxes. The problem is the representation vis-a-vis the lack thereof. That's the main problem in America right now. If you do not pay, Suan, if you do not pay your politicians for talking time, they're not listening to you. Write a letter to your congressman if you have a problem. Congressmen don't listen anymore. Nobody in Congress listens because you're not paying for them anymore. But then you do have some people, and I know that people get upset over it, but there are people like AOC who do actually give a rat's ass about it. There are people like Elizabeth Warren. There are people like Bernie Sanders. Yeah, the progressives. Like, I hate the idea that I'm leaning towards a side in the political parties, but who else is out there actually representing us? Who's out there, people like Tulsi Gabbard, who's out there saying, why are we getting in more regime change wars? What, like, let's be realistic right here. What the hell has Iran done to us? What the hell has Iran done to us? And they're idiots right now, man. The Trump administration right now, they're and dude, all of them have done stupid things. Obama has done stupid things. Clintons have done stupid things. The Bushes have done stupid things. Reagan's done stupid things. They've all done stupid things because they're all politicians. Vis-a-vis, henceforth, they're stupid. You know what I'm saying? They're morons. But at the end of the day, when the Trump administration is trying to say Iran has been funding what do you call it? Al-Qaeda. Isn't Al-Qaeda Takfiri? Aren't all Takfiris by definition Sunni? Isn't Iran Shia? So explain to me, please, how they would not be funding Hezbollah. They would instead be funding the people who want to kill Sunnis. The people who want, the Sunnis who want to kill Shia. I'm sorry, when I lived in Saudi Arabia over in Dammam, I was 2 blocks away when 2 guys walked into a Shia mosque and opened fire and killed 4 people, one of whom was a first blood cousin to one of my students. One of my actual students that I was having, and he comes up to me, Professor William, yes, I was Professor. Professor William, I want to just go out and I want to kill all the Sunnis. I'm like, dude, is that really what you want? No, it's not. I want to kill the people who killed my cousin. That I can understand. And they're in a messed up situation right now. And it's only getting worse. But to sit here and say that the Shia would ever fund Sunnis who Their main goal is not to kill Americans, it's to kill Shia. I'm sorry. We're just idiots right now, dude. We're all idiots. If we believe stuff like this, we're all idiots. And none of us deserve the representation that we're talking about right now. We've got idiots telling us stuff, and idiots are believing it. Because nobody does their homework anymore. Nobody does their research. Nobody listens. And it's pitiful. It's freaking pitiful. Nah, dude. Nah. We don't need regime change wars. Iran didn't do anything to me. Iraq didn't do anything to me. Afghanistan didn't do anything to me. Saddam didn't have WMDs. He didn't have anything to do with freaking the World Trade Center, for crying out loud. You know what I'm saying? You know who did have something to do with the World Trade Center? And let's just call facts facts. And I lived there for 5 years. Saudi Arabia. It was Saudi Arabia. That stuff happened out of, not Alhambra, Khamis Mashat, and there's the Twin Cities. There's Khamis Mashat and the city right next to it, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's down south and all the way to the west. And what do you call it? Iran never called me boy, right? Oh, Jesus, yeah, if we're going to get into that. How can Joe Biden work with segregationists, but you can't work with fellow Democrats about reparations? Just, oh my God. Oh my God. And you know, people getting all up in arms about reparations. You know what reparations can be? They can be in the form of free education. They don't have to be cash. They don't have to be cash. They can be in the form of loans that are interest-free for, let's say, 10 years. And then you have to start paying back. And if you didn't pay already, then you got to pay the interest. But interest-free for 10 years. You know, like we do for many of the Asian countries right now. South Korea, we do that for already. India, we do that for already. All right, we already do that for a bunch of other countries. Why can't we do that for ourselves? Why can't we do that for ourselves? And we've already paid reparations. There's going to be people who are upset at this. Sorry, Snowflake, but at some point or another, stop, take a look at what's actually happening in the world and understand. We've actually already paid reparations. The problem is, we've already paid reparations. Ta-Nehisi Coates talking at Congress was amazing. Something that he didn't talk about that I wish he would have. What do you call it? America has already paid reparations in the United States. But they didn't pay it to black people. They paid it to the poor white farmers, the plantation owners, who lost all their slaves after the Emancipation Proclamation. And these unskilled white people, who were called crackers at the time, because if you were an uneducated white person who didn't know how to do anything for yourself, you were called a cracker. That's where the term comes from. That's why when people call, like, if a black person comes up and calls me a cracker, I laugh, because I'm not a cracker. You know what I'm saying? It does. Okay. My wife saw me laugh somebody off at that. Some guy from Liberia. I laughed it off. I'm like, okay, cute. Anyway, but we paid reparations to the white farmers. So we can pay reparations. We can afford it. We can afford it. We keep on increasing the budget. Listen, how about this? How about this? Where are we going to get the money? How about this? If we go to war with Iran, where are we going to get that money? And suddenly the argument completely crumbles to dust, right? We've got the freaking money. We've got the freaking money. We can pay goddamn reparations. And it doesn't have to be a cash bonus to anybody, for Christ's sake. There's so many ways. Because before you can even disseminate reparations, you got to talk about how they're going to be disseminated, in which form. It's just the idea that we want to have a lousy freaking conversation. That's all they want, is a lousy conversation. And while you're having that conversation, can we please also talk to the Sioux Nation? Because they're not taking your crappy, lousy deal for the land. They don't want your stupid money for the land. They actually want the land. So try and work something out. But no, we want to just simply keep on letting things go over and over again. The U.S. military has broken over 500 treaties. Yes, the U.S. military has broken over 500 treaties. And as someone who is part Native American, I can't help but to laugh whenever I hear, and I don't hear it hardly anymore, but when I used to hear the term Indian giver. What treaty exactly did the natives ever break? Like, dude, what was his name? Smedley. General Smedley. I can't remember his whole name. War is a Racket. It's a free book. It's in the common market. Anybody can download the book. Anybody can reprint the book. War is a Racket. Here is a United States general who gives the real rundown of that. The Dakota Pipeline. Dude, there's a lot of pipelines out there right now. The Dakota Pipeline is a thing, yes. It's already been built, and within 1 year of it being built, there have already been 3 leaks into the water supply. They built it regardless. They basically had private police there, and they had actually paid police in there. Beat up a whole bunch of people, hurt a bunch of people, took a woman's eye out, destroyed a person's arm. Like, there are people genuinely hurt over this stuff because why? What are the taxpayers actually getting for having this pipeline there? It doesn't even go to us. The pipeline goes to being sold to, here's the funny thing, Mexico. The private companies are building these pipelines so that they can sell oil that should belong to the American people, the American taxpayer. We should have that. But no, it's being sold by the private companies to sell to Mexico, not New Mexico, to actual Mexico, old Mexico, and they're reaping the benefits of it. But they're not doing any cleanups of the leaks into water supply. Exxon Valdez still hasn't been cleaned up, for God's sake. They privatize the cost, they socialize the risk and the damages. We pay for it. Regardless, we pay for it. Whether it's Texas or not, we pay for it. The war of manifest destiny has never ended. I see you talk about that a lot on Facebook, and you're 100% right. The war of manifest destiny hasn't ended. At the end of the day, dude, no. Look, there's a lot of conversations that need to be had, and the problem is that we're not actually having those conversations at the right levels. At the right levels in the political spheres. We're not having those conversations, and we need to. If it hurts people's feelings, you'll get over it, because we need to be re-educated. We need to be re-educated. The education system sucks. All of it sucks. It is what it is. Dude, we really could be the best people on earth. We've got the money for it. We're the richest nation that has ever existed. America, the richest nation that has ever existed in the face of creation. We could. You're right, James. Conversations mean an acknowledgement of the problem. God forbid. But we're the richest freaking nation. Does anybody here feel rich? And you know what? Like, honestly, I can understand why white people would be upset. And I know I'm talking like I'm not white. I am almost half white. I'm mostly Sicilian, which we're not actually considered white. And my grandfather was called the N-word and was not allowed to work or live in certain areas, which is why I grew up with the idea that I wasn't white, even though I look pretty white and I burn like a son of a gun. All right? But I never grew up with these problems, which is why when people say these things, I don't have these attachments. I don't have these heartaches. Like, you're talking about my people. I've got so many people that who cares at this point? Who cares? So I can genuinely have a freaking... Okay. I like that, man. I like that. The white man, yeah, they call it the farmer's tan. What do you call it? But, you know, what do you call it? We do have to have these conversations at the end of the day. These conversations need to happen, you know? And they're not. You can't fix anything until they do. White people don't like hearing things like white privilege. Because let's be realistic right now. I mean, and this is something that some black people aren't going to like hearing. Do white people actually feel privileged? Because they don't. The average person just doesn't. They don't, you know? I don't get offended when somebody like D.L. Hughley says, hey, with all the privilege you guys have, you've got no reason to not be, you know, super wealthy. You screwed up. If you had all these benefits coming and it didn't happen, that's on you. That's a misunderstanding of how it actually works. That's what that is. No, just white people aren't going to feel privileged. White people are privileged. We are privileged. But that privilege, like it's hard. The grass is always greener on the other side. You know what I'm saying? So we're always going to look at it that way. But at the end of the day, when you've got white people living paycheck to paycheck, just like everybody else, all right? And think about it. This is how bad it had to be. Stagnant wages since 1970. Stagnant wages since 1970. Interest has gone up. Everything's gone up. And when we talk about, oh, is America rich? Are we rich? Well, the stock market's doing great. Somebody, please explain to me, anybody who's watching this now, later, whatever, when has a stock market, skyrocketing or crashing, ever affected you? Because it never has. It never has. It's never once affected us. We can talk about the Great Depression. That was the Dust Bowl that screwed us over. That was the Dust Bowl, because it coincidentally happened at the same time. That's what made it so devastating. Products being destroyed, produce being destroyed, so therefore jobs being destroyed. We were screwed by the Dust Bowl. The rich people were screwed by the crashing stock market, which was just rich people playing their little games, playing around with fake money that aren't real. They're not real. Stock market money is not real. It's fake. It's monopoly money. Actually, monopoly money is more real because you can actually touch it. The stock market people, they get their tax breaks, they sell and immediately rebuy their stock, which makes the stock market go up more. Now my stock is worth even more, and I paid the same price I sold it for, so my price is just going up. Look what I did! Artificially inflating the stock market, which is going to cause it to crash. And at the end of the day, what's that going to do? Nothing. Nothing. That bubble that the bankers did that caused that people who are uneducated in how to freaking use a credit card or even write a check at school are being given loans when usually, do you remember when going for a mortgage, did anybody see those old TV shows or movies where you go to a bank to get a loan and it's a long process? Instead of just saying, oh, you're approved right away, you're approved. You're going to get approved for more things, for more credit, lines of credit, after you go bankrupt than anything else ever. Why? Because you can't claim bankruptcy again for another, how long is it? 7 years, 10 years, something like that? You can't claim bankruptcy again. So they can come after you at that point. So they're definitely going to give you a line of credit. They're preying off of people who don't know how to use credit properly, being told that renting is better than buying anyway. No, it's not. No, it's not. Dude, like, the world's messed up right now, and right now, like, I'm American, so I'm seeing what's happening to America, and it's killing me. We're broke. The people are broke. The richest country in the world, and where is that money? Oh, it's with the rich people. No, but what are you talking about? We're doing better than we've ever done before. We've got, the stock market is doing great. Stock market doesn't help poor people. It doesn't help poor people at all. At all. And at the end of the day, these are the insiders. So I mean, like, what's that going to do anyway? Even if you do play the stock market, if you pull out $100 and you play this, you play the stock market, what's that going to do for you? What's your reward going to be? $17 if the stock does great? You got to have at least $1 million in the stock market. I argued Neil Adams into a corner with that. And Jim Zub was a witness for it. All right? Well, actually, I told him afterwards. But Jim Zub was laughing his ass off at that conversation. But I argued Neil Adams into a corner with that. I was like, dude, the only way that you can make money in the stock market is if you, like, real money in the stock market, is you have $1 million in there. And you need insider information, which the rich people do, and the poor people will never have. Will never have. The only thing that we know in this country, the only thing that we know economically, is capitalism. Nobody understands what socialism is. People think that means that the government controls everything. When you think of the word socialism, does that really sound like the government controls things? Because it could be that the people control things. What if we had unions that actually we're able to have some sort of power, because who else in this country looks out for people, and that includes Canada also. Name another organization that looks out for individual workers. The only country that looks out for individual workers, the only country, the only company, the only people, the only organization that looks out for individual workers are unions. And your union could suck, but they're still the only guys in town who are actually looking out for the workers. And when push comes to shove, what do you got? You got, shoot, I'm sorry, why are you up? Why are you putting my cat in a basket? Slowly turn the basket to its side. Let Bagel out of the basket. Push it down so she can get out. Careful. Now, go to bed. Monster. Look at this. Look what they do. They put my kitty in a basket. Nobody puts Bagel in a basket. Nobody puts Bagel in a corner or in a basket. I love you too, my Bagel. Yes, I do. Anyway, I don't remember where I was. Guys, unemployment is at an all-time low anyway. But then they try and argue the semantics and whatnot. Hey, whoa. Julius, you and I are going to have a serious conversation with no words spoken. Don't you ever threaten my cat like that. I know you're just joking. Gonna go all Hannibal Lecter. Actually, what was that? Buffalo Bill on my cat. Although I do admit she would make a really great mitten. I'm sorry. It had to be said. So look, the idea is that we have to have conversations. We have to see what's going on. We need to understand. Oh yes, the idea with socialism. We could actually have social. If unions had any kind of power, they would make it so that half of the board of directors were unionized workers. Think about it. So let's say you've got a plant. You've got your organization, your plant, not a plant like a house plant. Your factory, okay? And there's 20 seats on the board of directors. Imagine if half of those seats were filled by people who were actually working in the plant. Imagine that. Because you know what you would have then? Instead of people saying, well, you know what, let's downsize. Well, let's start laying people off because that's how you you save money. Oh, you know what, let's try and move overseas and, we'll get slave labor overseas because that always works better. And we'll move to a tax haven country. We'll move our headquarters to a tax haven country, like Malta or something like that. If half of your vote is no, good luck with that. Suddenly we're doing what's best for the workers. And if the workers are happy, you're going to have more productivity. But no, people look at it as, oh, let's just simply screw everybody over. Let's hire slave labor at slave wages, literally, slave-like wages. It's ridiculous. We're literally like Apple. I hate the idea of buying a new. I'm 2 seasons behind, 2.5 years behind on Apple right now. 3 years, whatever, on Apple. Why? Because screw those guys. Hiring, or getting people in this building to work in your company. And what do you have? People are committing suicide because they hate their life. So you put nets at the bottom so they can't commit suicide. As opposed to paying them a living wage when you look at what's actually happening in China. Dude, the world is ridiculous right now. The world is ridiculous. And the businessmen in America are a cancer unto all of us. And one of the main reasons why they're capable of doing that is because they have bought and paid for, and we have the receipts of our politicians. It's disgusting. And it's happening. It happens in Canada too. It does. And it's ridiculous. You ever hear the Paradise Papers? Dude, something needs to be done. And I hate to say it, but as rude as it sounds, as messed up as it sounds, it might involve pitchforks. It might involve guillotines. Because that stuff works. You look at what happened in France. They sit there and talk about, oh, they're so uncivilized in France. They were throwing things and destroying things and you know what they got? Every single thing that they asked for. They got everything they were asked for. Because like what's his name? Michael Moore in one of his movies, one of his documentaries showed Branson, right? Yeah, it definitely happens in the UK with the guy who owns Virgin Media. You know what I'm saying? Uh, yeah, too many people like that with his islands. That's what I was about to ask you, Professor Bill. You think it could result in a conflict? I think that it needs to result in a conflict. Because until these people have some kind of threat, I want you, you know what? Silver Surfer was just making a joke earlier about, you see this knife? I'm going to teach you to speak English with this knife. I want you to think about the prayer at the end of that movie. To me, this is Martin Scorsese being like, it's like he was sent down. You know what I'm saying? Like he was the recipient of a divine message. Because you had 3 prayers being spoken there. One for vengeance from the people moving in, you know, the non-natives. What was the prayer? What would you consider the prayer for the natives? You know what I'm saying? But the prayer of righteousness. And then the prayer of haughtiness from the rich. And what did they all say? Because you are a God of vengeance, because you are a righteous God, because you are a peaceful or a merciful God. They all ended their prayers differently, calling God by a different name. That was so telling. That's a Led Zeppelin song if ever I heard one. Julius, I'm not calling for a violent revolution. I don't need to. I believe it's the only way things are going to change. I genuinely believe it's the only the only thing that's going to change. Because voting doesn't matter. We've got the Electoral College. Voting doesn't matter. They've got the, what is it, changing the voting lines. I forget what that's called. There's actually a name for that. You know what I'm saying? The gerrymandering. You know what I'm saying? They got voter suppression. They sit there and turn around like, oh, we're going to throw out all of these votes and things like that. We elected 2 presidents in the past 10 years that did not win the popular vote. Is that a democratically elected president? That is the exact opposite of a democratically elected president. That is not, we are supposed to have democratically elected officials. But because of the Electoral College, we had 2. And this is, the current one is, the sitting president is one of them. He was not voted into office. Through the popular vote. The other person, the other devil, Hillary freaking Clinton, who I don't know if she would have been just as bad, but she would have been damn close nipping at his heels. And we would have probably been in some kind of a war with Russia if she was in charge. She's painful. And she's still active in politics. There are people like, well, she's not in politics right now, so, yes, she is. She still goes to the United Nations and speaks on the behalf of the World Bank to try and start war, the regime change wars right next to Henry Kissinger. Yeah, his old baggy ass is still alive. They're best friends. They have tea together and stuff like that, and dinner together. They're evil. There is evil in the world. Hillary Clinton is one of them. Trump is just a jackass. We don't have representation. We have no representation. And that's the problem. Our representatives don't represent us. That's just the only way that's going to change is to threaten the establishment. And it doesn't have to mean going out and freaking hurting people, hurting rich people or anything like that, or hurting politicians. It doesn't have to be like that. It's going to wind up turning into some kind of a riot at some point. I remember when the LA riots, I was in high school when the LA riots happened, and people talking about, oh, they're just destroying their own neighborhood. Have you ever talked with somebody who was involved in the LA riots? I have. Have you ever talked with people who were there? People who lived in the community? Excuse me, people who actually could tell you about what happened there. Research it. Look it up. It's the internet. Dude, we're more blessed right now than we've ever been in the history of creation. Look up why did the LA riots happen. And here's my challenge. I want you to look it up in a, what's it called? Let me hold on. incognito. I want you to go incognito and look it up. Because if you look up with your own search engine, Google or whatever has already biased its searches for you because it knows what you're looking for. Oh, if I swing left wing, I'm always going to be looking at some left wing media, which is actually centrist. If I'm right wing, I'm always looking at, the right wing media and blah, 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 blah. Oh, there's a dog yipping outside. I was wondering, though. I was like, is that my kids? Like, what the heck? Anyway, so go incognito. So you don't have people, so that the predilection for your searches doesn't weigh in on your new searches. Go incognito. And just look up, like, what caused the LA riots? And do that for a lot of searches. Do that every time you're going to search up something important to actually educate yourself. Because we can't trust anybody in the freaking mainstream media to educate us because they're all bought and paid for. We have the receipts. It's called the commercials. They're commercials. Who the hell's in the business to buy a Boeing jet? Why are we seeing advertisements for Boeing on CNN? Or is that MSNBC? I don't know because I don't watch them anymore. Like, come on, man. So do incognito searches and educate yourself because nobody else is going to, even me, I'm just some jackass on the internet, saying, what the hell do I know? So, yeah, I'm glad that we had a really good conversation about comic books this week. Oh, every so often this happens and it's good to let it out. All right, guys. So, yeah, I'm going to bounce 2 hour and 6 minute video. Half of it, at least, was about comic books. The other half, we got political. This is so deep for 3 a.m. Oh, I'm so sorry, Sabah. I'll still be here in the morning. Like, the video's not going to leave. Anyway, I am going to make this more about comic books right now because I'm going to sign off. I'm going to say I do, remember me. Who remembers which Shakespeare play that's from? Go and check that out anytime soon, and guys. What do you call it? And I'm going to put up my interview, or not an interview. I didn't interview him. I did ask a question, though. But I'm going to put up the panel with Bob Layton, the coolest freaking panel ever, because the guy was just so personable. And you guys get to learn a whole lot about comic books and the creation of, cool Iron Man and the new movies and all that good stuff. And I'll talk to you guys later. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.